What's up, people? I am back. Sorry, I will get to my top 10 movies list of the 2022. I'll do that this Friday. Because originally this Friday I was going to do my top 10 horror sequels. I'm doing that next Friday. Or maybe I might push it to next Monday, maybe. We'll see. I'll see. I'll do it next Monday. I'll do that one specifically next Monday. But this one. This was a review I was supposed to originally do last week, but things kind of got in the way, and then plus New Year's. I wanted to do that list stream stream video, on Saturday night, but people were popping fireworks, and it was raining. And same with Sunday. Like Sunday night, it was pretty much raining hard again, and people were still kind of setting off fireworks because it was still like New Year's Day. So I figured, and I didn't want to do it Monday morning because I had other stuff going on, so I figured what I'll do instead is we'll do my review that I was originally supposed to do last Monday, and then I'll push the list of favorite movies to this Friday. So, but I guess before that, I'll go into what I got going on. Gremlins 2 today. Tomorrow, I will be starting on I guess it's technically a trilogy now, the House of a Thousand Corpses trilogy. House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell, which I have not seen. That's like the newer one he did a couple years ago. So, we'll start off with Devil's Rejects, which, my opinion, one of the best movies, and arguably his best. I think Devil's Rejects edges it out a smidgen, but I can see the argument for this one being his best. So I can't wait to talk about that tomorrow. Maybe I might even, since I'm doing M. Night, I might even start with Rob Zombie movies, minus the Halloween ones, because we did those already. But, like some of his other ones. So maybe I'll do those. Maybe I'll make that a thing after, since I'm kind of finishing up on M. Night. Speaking of M. Night, we're going to do his second, I guess, somewhat newest movie that came out I think it was either last year or the year before, called Old. I remember hearing about it, and I think I saw a trailer thinking it looked kind of creepy, but I just never watched it because I'm not gonna lie, I'm still pretty salty about fucking Glass. So, but I figured since I've not seen it, and there's that new one coming out, I think next month, which I will review since I'm doing M. Night movies. So I figured we'll conclude with Old for the time being, and then I might, like I said, I might start doing Rob Zombie movies next. So, but anyway. Then Thursday, we'll be back with Texas Chainsaw doing that really awful, I don't know if it was I don't even remember if it was supposed to be like a reboot or if it was supposed to be a remake. That really awful Texas Chainsaw movie that came out in 2013 that had Trey Songz in it. Yeah, that's the next one we're doing. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait to not do that one. But hey, I guess we have to. And then Friday, like I mentioned, for sure, I might even try to do it like during the day or something. My favorite movies of 2022. So, but let's actually kick off the Gremlins 2 new batch. This one came out in 1990, so a couple years after the original, and I do like that they do bring some characters back. Like they bring back Billy. I think it's actually the same actor too, and his girlfriend. So you do have like that continuity. But he works at basically this corporation. I guess it technically is a Christmas movie because it's close to. But the reason I didn't review it, because I wanted to kind of keep it a Christmas theme, and I figured the first one is arguably way more. This one, it technically is supposed to be close to Christmas, but there are points you can almost argue this movie could be any time of the year. That's part of the reason why I didn't do it. But overall, I really enjoy it. I even love the little WB opening where it has like actual like Looney Tunes animation, and I love the new Gremlins, and even the one that talks. That to me kind of was like it almost makes me like I kind of wish some of the Gremlins talked the whole time because holy shit, the one that becomes like really smart because they're in this lab and there's all these like different types of like concoctions that these scientists made up and basically it transforms them into them and just all around like I really love the different types of gremlins and I thought I loved the same calamity. I actually kind of liked it's weird because in the first one they're outside causing all this havoc. In this one it's only in a building, so it's almost like the opposite of what a sequel normally does. A sequel's supposed to make it bigger, but they kind of kept it in a more contained thing inside of a building, which I actually like. I think it makes it kind of interesting. I so Billy works for this corporation. Um, and you even got a fucking Christopher Lee in here, who I think was great as one of the scientists, and just all around, it's like I think it continues the hijinks of the first one pretty perfectly. Like it's not as strong like some sequels are. Like it's not as strong, let's say, as the original, but I definitely think it has that charm. I love the different gremlins. I love the spider one was actually kind of creepy. I can understand watching that one as a kid, and you see that like spider one, or even like the bat one is kind of trippy. I can see that kind of scaring a kid, and yeah, just all around fun movie. So I think it continues the movie well. It expands the lore, and I actually thought it was a nice, interesting direction what they do with Mr. Clamp because they could have easily just made him like typical asshole tycoon billionaire guy, but they actually didn't do that. No, he's actually a likable character who you actually like the whole time, and once he starts seeing shit's happening, he acknowledges it and doesn't act like a dick about it. It's interesting, like for a movie of this time, because they could have easily just gone like, oh, he's rich tycoon asshole guy. They could have just went that route, but they didn't. So all around, just it's a fun movie. So I would give this one 8 out of 10. Like if I give the original like a 9.5, I'd give this one like an 8. I think it continues it well. I thought the female Gremlin was kind of funny, even though she's definitely more used for gag. Like she wasn't used in like any like serious capacity, but I thought it was funny. So before we get started here, I'm gonna get started here, but cheers. So we start off with like we find out we're kind of basically it kind of picks up in a way a little bit after where the first one leaves off, and we see Gizmo living with Mr. Wing, and I love like because like Gizmo has like he because of living with Billy in the first movie. Sorry about the fucking plane. But after living with Billy, he loves watching TV, and the movie he was watching was Rambo 5, which was fucking great. Not Rambo 5, fucking Rambo First Blood Part 2, which was great because it actually adds to the story, which I'll get to later. But so after Mr. Wing dies, because this company called the Clamp Center wants Gizmo to sell, but Mr. Wing refuses. And then he ends up dying, and then Gizmo ends up getting caught by one of the scientists, and then we kind of jump, and we meet Billy again, who's now getting married to fiance who work in the building. And initially he seems like he starts off as like this scrub, but Mr. Clamp actually starts taking a liking to Billy, and Billy's superior, Maria, who let's just be real, she's just hot chick, which that's fine. I don't necessarily Fuck. Sorry. Fucking helicopter. We find Gizmo is now in this science facility in the same part of the building. Or this is where we meet Christopher Lee, who I fucking love Christopher Lee in this. I even think like his humor is kind of interesting in this. Like, yeah, he's like the scientist guy, but he had some funny lines in it. I'm not gonna lie. So we see that Gizmo's working there, but Gizmo manages to get out. But unfortunately, when he tries to get somewhere, one of the things like spills on like water, like in the classic, like in the original. Which I do like that they kind of keep the same lore about it. They don't change it up or do anything. So new Mogwire formed, even more mischievous this time around, and they end up locking Gizmo in a vent. And they start eating food, and then this is where we see them fully grown again. And basically, Mohawk kind of is the new. He's like the new Spike Gremlin. Like he's kind of like the new one, or Stripe, not Spike. Fucking hell, Stripe said Spike. Holy shit. But yeah, Mohawk Gremlin starts basically just torturing Gizmo the whole time, while the others. One of them poses as Gizmo because in his form he kind of looks like Gizmo, but like basically retarded Gizmo. I'm just gonna say it. And Billy ends up realizing that it's not that is not Gizmo, and they end up realizing that these things are starting to form again. And then the Gremlins set off sprinklers, which sets the other ones off, and then and initially, like the people don't believe him, Billy, about these Gremlins, but they eventually start causing havoc at the building, start causing havoc at the science lab, which they start taking like different kind of concoctions, which are like animal mixes. One of them takes like the serum, but basically makes them really smart. So one of the Gremlins actually starts getting dialogue. It starts wearing like glasses. I thought that was great. That's probably like my favorite Gremlin. It almost makes me kind of wish they did that in the first one. It was kind of hilarious to have one actually that talks, and even granted it's a little bit later, but where he's doing like an interview and talking with people is pretty funny. He basically becomes like the leader Gremlin essentially. Yeah, basically Brain Gremlin is what he's called. I fucking love him. And then there was one that takes this bat thing and basically becomes a bat, which I love the design of. And then yeah, you get the female Gremlin, which is hitting on one of Clamp's guys the whole time. That's pretty much all the gag is with her. Then yeah, one of them becomes a spider, which that scene like because it starts chasing Maria and Kate, who they have this little subplot. That's why I didn't really mention it, but there's a subplot where Maria is like hitting on fucking sorry, I don't know why I forgot his name. Billy. I don't know why I fucking forgot his name. But yeah, hitting on Billy, but Billy didn't like obviously accept it, but they make it see Kate gets mad because I guess he didn't tell her. It's this, they did that little thing. You gotta have your little relationship trouble in the movie. Whatever. But I thought the spider scene was cool. And you even see Gizmo get his revenge and do a fucking bow and arrow like fucking Rambo because he watched Rambo First Blood Part 2. So I just all around think it's a fun little movie. I love the bat gremlin gets killed by I think it's the same old man from the last movie. But yeah, Gizmo ends up saying he ends up killing it too. He ends up killing Mohawk like straight up, like flame arrow and everything. So Dr. Clamp comes up with an idea. As Billy's original plan, he's gonna cover the building and make it seem like it's nighttime, but it's actually sunlight. Like put like a fake sun, like nighttime environment, but it fails because it starts raining. So, and then he ends up using a fire hose on them and it electrocute him all to death, like, minus the female one who you see like later. And basically the only problem I have with this is it's basically bestiality because it's a creature. And there's even if he makes a face like he kind of consents, so it's like, oh my god, no. That's the only thing about this movie I'm a little iffy about. But yeah, I overall like it. I think it's a fun sequel. I think one thing it does a sequel is supposed to do, it expands the lore. Like we get different gremlins. I thought the brain gremlin's probably my favorite. Like to actually see a gremlin that's smart in that interview was fucking hilarious. And his accent's fucking killing me the whole time. It's like they expanded the lore, and I also liked how contained the chaos was compared to the first one. The first one we showed them outside, causing a lot of destruction. So I like this time around they kept it pretty much all in the building. Like I kind of like there's the one, I guess I'll call him retarded gremlin just for the sake of this video. That got out and because they thought that was Gizmo. But that's like probably the only scene where we see a Mogwai outside because pretty much the rest of the movie they're pretty much all in this building. So it was cool seeing Gizmo again. I thought the human characters are pretty decent. Yeah, it like I mentioned, it does what a sequel's supposed to do. I love the gremlin designs. I thought the spider gremlin's fucking creepy. I can understand as a kid if you watched that and kind of fucked you up. Yeah. Great sequel. So that's pretty much all I can really say. So tomorrow, House of a Thousand Corpses. I remember watching that the first time and being like, holy shit. Like just because when I watched it, it was when I was really getting into horror and just being like, because you weren't the level of violence in this you're not ready for if you've not when you first get into horror. It's it's like that. It's like holy shit, man. It's very visceral, and that's pretty much all I can say. The world is crazy. This whole family's crazy, and yeah, easily, I would probably say Rob Zombie's wife's best role, Sherry Moon's. Yeah, Moon Zombie's best role easily. I think she plays that role perfectly. And it has been a lot of years since I've seen House of a Thousand Corpses, so I can't wait to dive back into that. So, yeah. But Gremlins 2 is a really good sequel. Heavily recommend it. You can watch Gremlins 1 and 2 in a way, like, back to back. Because Gremlins 2 is like a couple, like, because I think Gremlins 1 was like 84, and then 2 was 90. So I guess about 6 years. So 6-year difference. But they still, like, you could watch them back to back. So, yeah, but as usual, cheers and peace out. As usual, fuck Joe Biden. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow with House of a Thousand Corpses. Peace.